Hey, this is Ben, and today I want to go over my experience that I had at the Kansas City Union Station. I think it'd be cool to share with you guys kind of like a blog style format here of my experience there. So I stopped, had some coffee at a place called Parsi Coffee there at Union Station in Kansas City, Missouri. And I was able to have a really good breakfast at Harvey's, had some biscuits and gravy, which was awesome. But I had a lot of extra free time as I was dropping my mom off at the Union Station, Amtrak station. And I thought to myself, well, I have extra time here. Why not have a try at some 360 photography with my new phone? And you guys actually switched from a Android OnePlus 7 Pro to an iPhone 13 Pro Max. And as you can see in this video, there's just some amazing architecture at the Union Station. It was built in 1914 after the original train station was destroyed by a flood, and it's now on the National Register of Historic Places, and it's really beautiful. So I'm learning the whole iPhone thing. One of the things I learned was that the format of the photo when you take it, you have to set it to most compatible. It doesn't save the photo as a JPEG. And what I'm doing here is taking photos in a circular pattern using the main lens for 1x. I had tried using the ultra wide camera and I found that it did not stitch well. And basically, you have to take 2 rows. Actually, there's about 3 rows of photos. So you have to take photos of the ground, 45 degrees pointing down, the vertical plane, and then 45 degrees upwards, as well as the ceiling. And when you combine all the photos using software called PTGui, it creates a 360 photo. One of the things I found was that you actually cannot create a 360 photo inherently using any software on board the iPhone. At least I haven't found one, so if you guys found software, let me know in the comments section. I'd be really interested to find it. I used to use the Google Camera APK on my Android phone, and that was really convenient. But basically, yeah, you're seeing me here taking photos. It turns into about 30 or 40 photos combined into one. But what I do is I take my right foot and I turn around and pivot on that foot to try to maintain that circular momentum and then that no parallax point, which is that point where photo is centered around the turning point, and that allows for the photo to stitch and to have a common point. I found that it's fun to take this photo with a phone because you always have your phone on you, and it makes it pretty easy to show people a 360 view of a place. So one of the things I struggled with was getting my photos off of my iPhone and onto my computer. What I like to do is just create a folder and pull those files off and then make sure that they're all accounted for. So from 316 all the way down to 352, there should be a photo in each number, so nothing's missing. What I first did here is I opened up a software called Photomatix to apply some HDR automated editing. And although I didn't take 3 different exposure photos, the data in the photo is pretty great from the iPhone, and it allows me to edit those in batch. And this goes a lot faster than trying to do them manually one by one in Photoshop or any other program you might have. And this photo looks great. Like, you can really see some color in the trees. It's really popping. So I would say just take a look at each photo as you're going. Make sure it's on the right track. And then what I did was I just let it go. Let it, go grab a bite to eat. Go take a break. We're right now in fast forward, so this took probably 20 or 30 minutes for my computer to process it. I have about a 5-year-old computer, so my graphics card's not super fast, but it does get the job done. And then once it finished, I took all of those edited HDR photos and dropped them into software called PTGui. I have PTGui Pro, which costs $348 as of today. You can get the basic version for $175. I've used this for a small business with 360 photography, so I already had it. To do this kind of project, you would have to spend as little as $300 or up to $500 if you buy the Pro version of PTGui. The Pro version lets you remove people from from shots and kind of gives you a little bit of extra capability there. It's kind of an extra thing. I would definitely recommend it if you are taking 360 photos to make money or a profit. And basically it's simple. You load it, I optimize the photos, and then I do a preview to just make sure that I'm kind of on the right track prior to actually exporting the photo and creating the panorama. So you might wonder why I enjoy taking mobile 360 photos, and the reason I really like it is because of the convenience factor that's involved in it. This photo taking experience is a little bit more in depth than my previous video on the Android, but the quality is pretty darn good. I mean, it's bringing a resolution size that's over 10,000 or 10K, and the details is they're just awesome from the iPhone 13 Pro Max. I'm really happy with it. There is a lot of stitching errors you guys are kind of noticing here. It's not perfect. It is an open area, but I was in the Kansas City Union Station and I just really wanted to give it a shot, see what I could do, see what kind of level of detail I could attain to. So yeah, you can see it's pushing like 19,000 of a height there, and that's really good. The quality is phenomenal. You'll end up losing a lot of it if you do repost this to Facebook, but your friends are probably going to like it. It's going to be pretty cool looking. This video might not be for everyone. It's really for somebody that already has PTGui or already has an HDR software, and just wanted to share kind of my experience with it. I found that the Rico Theta app didn't work great for iPhone. Android has a lot better capability, so in this video I wasn't able to make a tiny planet. Personally, I haven't been posting tiny planets to Instagram much in the last year. It's kind of something fun to do every now and then, but I kind of focus more on just regular photos nowadays. And 360 photos are pretty cool too. PTGui does a lot of the heavy lifting here. And just looking at the properties of this panorama, you can see it's really high quality iPhone 13 Pro Max, and it does a pretty good job of taking those photos and taking that original photo that was 3024 pixels and using that main lens on the iPhone. One thing I forgot to mention, I tried doing this with the ultra wide camera and I did not get good stitching results. For whatever reason, that camera didn't help me out. I think you could take less photos overall with ultra wide and make a 360, but I didn't have good results. I just had too many stitching errors to really be worthwhile. So I just reverted back to that main lens, which aids to more resolution quality. What I did was I loaded it to iCloud in order to move the photo over to be reposted and reshared. I chose to do that so that I could edit in another app of mine called TouchRetouch on my phone. I've used other programs to edit 360s on my computer. I personally use Affinity Photo. So Affinity Photo is great for doing that, but I really like TouchRetouch. It's simple, it works great. So this is me showing you how I open it on my phone after I loaded it from TouchRetouch and iCloud. So I got it off of iCloud using the copy and paste function from the files drawer. iPhone is not quite as easy to move files, I found, as compared to Android. You have a lot more freedom to move files and manage them on an Android, but I'm making do, it's not the worst. So we got it loaded. I copied it from the files and then I pasted it into TouchRetouch, and now I'm going in and removing any people or anything that's distracting from the photo. So removed those two people as they're walking in, and kind of zooming in, taking a look at the doors. You can see there's some pretty significant stitching errors on the doors, so we can use the tool here to shape those up and kind of get rid of some of the obvious errors, and brushing in straight lines to try to just make it less noticeable. This method's not perfect by any means, but it does give a good estimation of what you would like to see in a 360 photo. If you're just sharing this with friends, though, you're not making money on this sort of thing, I don't see the big issue with that. It's for fun. It's to share with people. I like sharing special places, and to me, Kansas City Union Station is one of those. The tree is just gorgeous. There's just so much detail in all of the architecture, the walls, the ground, just all the marble and all the details that went into building this place. I go in and remove again faces and other items just to, those things don't need to be posted all over the place if you can avoid it. And yeah, you just go through here and remove anything distracting, any obvious lines and things that don't make sense to be in the 360. One of the things I noticed in doing this photo is that because I loaded my photos into Photomatix, it created a line throughout the 360 photo where you can see the differences in the darkness and the lightness. That's because the HDR software is not always 360 aware. And so you'll notice there's a little bit of issues there. But this is me just trying to fix that little little area there. It's difficult. The clone stamp works well most of the time, but not always. And you can kind of struggle with it and try to make it look good. Other times it's quick and easy. Sometimes it's, you're not going to really be able to save this. You're just going to be able to kind of cover up the mistakes and try to make it not as distracting to the viewer. But this one shouldn't be that distracting as it's kind of pointed at the ground. Most people aren't literally looking at the ground anyways. Like, you're going to be looking at the ceiling, all the lights, the tree. Um, it's a small part of the entire photo itself. And this is just, there comes a point where you can't fix it. But we'll kind of watch my attempts to fix this and kind of keep going from there. But yeah, the software I use for HDR is called Photomatix. You can buy that for $100. Every now and then they have sales on that one, and they have student discounts, which is nice. And they give about a 25% discount at times. There was a Black Friday discount just recently that equated to about $25 off, which is pretty cool. So 175 for PTGui, $100 for Photomatix. And you can use these softwares for more than just what I'm doing in this video today. And yeah, so we're just going to keep working on removing lines and adding things like that. Some other things I wanted to kind of share with you guys was my experience with the camera app on the iPhone. Camera app is far limiting compared to Android, but you guys probably already knew that. Switching to iPhone has been mostly good. So this is me attempting to clean up the floor. The floor did not turn out great. So we're going to go ahead and skip ahead. This is like probably not significant to you guys. Alright, so let's take a look at the final product, right? So you got a full 360 view, and you can really see the ceiling. There's that cut line that I kind of made the mistake of using HDR incorrectly. But all in all, the photo looks awesome. You can see all the details of the ceiling, the chandelier there, the light just coming in. It's really awesome. It's not going to be as good as, say if you had a Nodal Ninja and a DSLR, but it was kind of fun to take. I was able to share that with friends and family, and it was a good experience overall. So hope you liked this video, hope you learned something. Maybe you want to give this a try, and maybe you don't. I would recommend probably getting a 360 camera if you're going to do this all the time. Or if you have an Android phone, I think you can do this in a lot quicker amount of time. This took quite a bit of time with editing and that kind of thing. But I'll probably do it a time or two as long as I see something that I want to share that stands out to me. So appreciate you watching, and we'll see you in the next one.